Hello. Welcome back to another episode on Exclusive Diaries. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe and leave a like. Let's get into the story now. Staying with my cheating wife has proven to be the worst decision I have ever made. I don't wish this on anyone. Long post. Using a throwaway because of all the personal details. So I have been with my wife for 11 years, most of that time we have been married. I want to tell you my experiences with a cheater and how this affected me. I met my wife in 2008. She was the ex of a mutual friend. Yes, they had had a sexual relationship, and I had just gotten out of a 3-year on-off-again relationship, which had been one of the most difficult emotionally for reason that I will mention later. I met her on June 6, 2008. She was 21 and lived with her mother. I was 28 and also lived at home. She had a child that was about 4 that she had with an ex in high school. Although she had a GED, she was going to school and working, so she seemed like she had a good head on her shoulders. The first day that we met, we had sex. I wasn't looking for a relationship and didn't take my dealings with her seriously after that. A few days after we met and had sex, she started telling me she loved me. In my naivete, I still didn't take any of this seriously and didn't plan to really be with her in a relationship. On July 4, 2008, she told me she was pregnant. I was shocked, but oddly happy. My best friend had just had a baby with his wife. The woman with whom I was with on-off had gotten pregnant twice, but neither made it to term. In hindsight, I realize how much I wanted my own family. I would later discover my big mistake was telling my wife that. My best friend didn't believe she was pregnant. He didn't think the timeline added up, and ironically she lived down the street from him and he had once spotted her in a compromising position with some other guy. After 2 weeks of believing she was pregnant, I asked to see a positive pregnancy test. She very much fought me on that, and that was red flag number 4 by this point. Later that night, she called one of my friends and told him that she had miscarried. She took a pregnancy test later that week and it was negative. She had lied. Less than a month after that, she got pregnant for real. Apparently, I had impregnated her during the time that I thought she was already pregnant. Wanting to do the right thing, I proposed to her, and next thing you know, I am married with a child on the way. Less than 6 months of meeting this girl I knew almost nothing about. That would prove to be my downfall. Shortly after we married, there were strange phone calls from guys who claimed they worked with her and told me they were having sex with her. She claimed that they were sexually harassing her and that one of her male coworkers had physically assaulted her by lifting her up and telling her they would never stop harassing her. Stupid, I know. I wanted to believe her, so I ignored it. After we married, I moved us into an apartment. A few months later, I needed to get emergency surgery, so I was in the hospital for a few days. She acted as though she wouldn't be able to stay alone in the apartment, and coincidentally a friend of mine have offered to stay at our apartment for the night as it was on his way to a place he had to be the next day. I didn't have problems with this, but she would later tell me that he called into bed with her and tried to have sex with her. That friend is now in prison, so I can't really ask him about it, but it makes me wonder how true that story was. My other friends believe they had sex. She later quit the other job and started working at a fitness club. I caught her one night texting one of her coworkers who was saying sexual things to her. She denied any wrongdoing and again claimed that she was being sexually harassed by this man. I offered to go to her boss with her and discuss the situation, as she claimed they were in a fire escape alone together and he forced her to sit down on his lap. Crazy, I know. The day I went to go meet with her boss, we were about to go inside when she suddenly got afraid and said she wanted to talk to her boss herself without me there. I agree and wait in the car. She never told me what transpired. By this time she had gotten pregnant again, and this is only 2010. She had dropped out of school not long after we met, and the daughter she had never moved in with us and is still being raised by her mother. She ended up getting a job at a hospital after training as a medical assistant. In 2011, my best friend tells me that she has been sexting him all week and saying that she wants to be with him. She was also telling him that she was in love with him. Crazy, I know. I confront her and she denies it at first, but he tells her that he told me everything she said and did, and then she starts going full crazy. She claims she still loves me and everything else, but apparently even her mother knew that she always had a thing for my best friend. The next day she fake suicides by lightly cutting her wrists with a kitchen knife in front of our young children. I take her back. Did I mention she has BPD? Fast forward to 2014, and from here things are going to go a bit faster. In 2014, she has an affair with another coworker. Texts, pictures, videos, phone calls, whatever. I read FB messages where she tells people she is falling in love with this guy. Later she tells me it ended because he had a girlfriend already and didn't want to commit. She glosses over the fact that she was planning to move out with him and was looking for apartments in the area for them to live. I take her back. In 2015, she actually has an affair with my best friend. This one lasts all the way to 2016. He and his wife had divorced by this time, and he started seeing her when that process started. They were sneaking around for over a year. She would take days off work to go fuck at his house. She bought him hundreds of dollars in gifts and neglected our own bills. There are photos and videos of them having sex. There were photos of her making out with him while our youngest was sitting next to her. She would lie and say she was out with friends, but they would spend most of the day together and would be fucking in his car or hers. In 2016, she leaves me for him. She told me that she loves him and wants to be with him. He later dumps her to get back with his wife. I take her back. 1 month after I take her back, she gets pregnant. I know she only did it to pretend she wanted to make our relationship work, but my now former friend's wife tells me that she was still trying to reach out to him just a few weeks before. I smile through what is left of our now sham marriage, as we are soon to have 3 children. By this point, we have moved back in with my parents. It's now 2017. We have the baby. Later in that year, she starts to Uber and Lyft. She has affairs with 2 men, at least, while she is doing this, but I don't find this out until much later. It's now 2018. Video gets posted from a coworker at another job she has of her fucking her boss in her car in the work parking lot. She only knew this guy for not even 2 weeks, she was in love with him too. I am humiliated, and she makes FB posts demanding that I defend her by putting my business out there to make sure that everyone knows how flawed I am. I don't do this, but in the end I take her back. In December she sends me a text of how much she loves me and wants us to work, says she will never cheat again and that we are going to work on us. Fast forward to April 14, 2019. I get an anonymous text from, presumably, a woman, with pictures of my wife's snatch, and her saying to tell her to stay away from her man. Included were screenshots of her talking to yet another guy, not even 2 months after she was cheating with her boss. The affair was still going on. I find out this time that she has been fucking my 60-year-old neighbor. She denied having sex, but they only kissed. My fucking ass. At this point, I tell her that we won't be having sex. We will stay together for the children, but that I was done being in a fake loving marriage. She still denies any serious wrongdoing, as if kissing our neighbor wasn't a bad thing. She says she won't talk to him. Fast forward to March 2019. She apparently has secretly been using Instagram as she was having yet another affair. This time, she is fucking the coworker of my former best friend. She apparently fucking him within 2 weeks of knowing him. They were meeting up at her job and they fucked in cars. She also fucked him inside her job, just like she did with my former friend. She also told this guy she was in love with him. He later drops her and tells her that he doesn't have time to continue to fuck her. I take her back. Fast forward to June 2019. I find the secret texting program she was using to talk to the neighbor. Turns out they were fucking. A lot. They never stopped talking after I found out about them, and they apparently had been seeing each other for damn near a year. She also overlapped with the guy from March. She sent him pictures, videos, told him that she loved him more than me, that she knows what true love is because of him, that she thinks about him constantly. I find out that she would fuck him in his house, his car, her car, our front porch, at her job. She would lie about when she got off work to go meet up with him and fuck. I take her back. Fast forward to now. I am a broken man. We have an anniversary coming up soon, and she will say what she has been saying to me for 11 years. She loves me. She only wants to be with me. She never wants to cheat again. She doesn't mean it. I am 40 years old. I don't have the energy to fight with her, divorce her, deal with her craziness. I haven't even gone into one half the details of her mental psychosis. I have to accept the fact that I have a chronically unfaithful wife. She doesn't know what love is. She will lie to my face. She has called me a nigger. She has talked shit about me to her lovers and mocked me behind my back as she was having her affairs. She involved my children in her fuckery. I stay for my kids at this point. Our marriage is a shit show, but I want them to at least think they have a stable household. Please use this as a cautionary tale. My wife has cheated on me with at least 10 other men. Hell, 3 of the guys she cheated on me with were in the same year. That's almost one for every year that we have been together. I suspect there have been many more. I am miserable all the time and depressed. I have sex with her maybe 6 times a year. I don't have friends anymore as they have all been run off by her crazy. My whole neighborhood, family, and friends know that she is a cheater. I am now an object to be pitted. If you have more strength than me, please leave. No man or woman deserves to be put through what I have been put through. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you would like to see more, feel free to subscribe.